We don't condone the use of any illegal substance or any illegal activity. This video is intended for instructional and educational purpose only. Watch at your own risk. Viewer discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
In the garden where the green leaves sway, see bunnies rolling up, we light it all way. Mr. Getter's got the bombs, we puffin' all night. Talking cultivation, yeah, we're feeling alright. Light it up, feel the vibe, let it be known. Garden cultivation network, we on the scene. Rolling that green, living out the dream. Chatting about the strains, how to plan it right. Join us every week, yeah, we light up the night. Wednesday to Friday, we keep it alive. Cannabis talks, everybody's feeling high. Sharing secrets of the grow, it's a sacred art. In this cultivation game, you gotta play your part. Keep it real, keep it tight, watch the plants grow. Garden cultivation network, we on the scene. Rolling that green, living out the dream. Chatting about the strains, how to plan it right. Join us every week, yeah, we light up the night.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
What a
Thankfully,
Wednesday.
halfway through the week.
Yes, I heard, little birdie told me you had quite the Wednesday.
I did have quite the Wednesday. Yeah, I got off work nice and early today. Hung out, partied with some of the Gromies. We had D the Bud Guy, Watson the Green Bean, and Mr. Papa Puffs came over today, and we hung out in the Mechanic studio here.
That's badass.
So, yeah, it was good. So I got some gifts. The THCA
THCA.
higher choice,
Which
and
is their new review, right?
hard to see. Yeah, it's like a review channel. It's like a review podcast. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah, I got nice shirt.
Nice.
Yeah,
I am jealous.
we smoked about 9 different strains of weed between the 4 of us. I think
That's
I had 5, and pretty much each one of them brought something with them. So I mean, we had a good day. It was fun. So they're actually at an event this evening here in London. So it's a bud tender event. I can't remember what he called it. Tetherwood? Tetherbud?
Something like that, I think, correct?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
can't remember. He said it a couple times while he was here, but there was so much chatter going back and forth between all 4 of us. We were like a bunch of little schoolgirls hanging out. Yeah,
Hmm.
good times.
So,
Very good times. All great people.
that's great. Yes, they are. So last Wednesday, speaking of great people, last Wednesday we had oh my God, Kristen from Growing Exposed. So if you missed that episode, you could scroll down below and you could click the episode, or you could find it over on Garden Cultivation Network. You could also on Spotify. You could also find us over on Instagram under Garden Cultivation Network. C Bunny Grows too, Mr. _ Organics. And we've also launched our store that we've been working on for quite a while today. So that link is in
Merch.
our bio on the GCN page, Instagram. Yes.
You can go pick yourself up a nice Garden Cultivation Network shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a fun episode planned today. We actually have 2 guests in the house.
We do.
Be fun. We got Optic Foliar Jess, and we got Optic Foliar Lawrence. So prepare to learn, because they're here to teach us all about foliar spray and all their different products that they have. And I believe it's a full feeding regimen. So
What I'm
we'll
most
learn all about
interested in
this.
hearing about is the spraying with the lights on.
Yes, me too. Me too. Are you ready?
I am. Are you?
I am. I am for sure.
Let's do
Hopefully
it.
the chat's ready.
Hey.
What's going on?
Welcome.
Oh man, had to do a little ditty there. That was fun.
I saw that. You guys can't see us back there, but we can see you.
Sure can.
You caught me.
That's
Busted.
right. Yes.
That's
No,
awesome.
that's good. I'm glad it gets people dancing.
Yes.
Aw, thanks, Muskoka Grower. That's so sweet. What up, Ryan?
Yeah, he's a cool dude too, actually. He
Yes.
No, it's been
Who's
really
our-
fun. I've been kind of slowly getting to know the community a little bit, and no,
Mhm.
it's the best.
That's pretty-
Honestly, this is my my favorite group of people I've never met before.
home away
That's
from home,
awesome.
right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a perfect
Oh,
way
yeah.
to say
So
it.
before we get into it, can you guys give yourself a quick introduction and what you do and all that fun stuff, where you could be found?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off. So I'm Jess. Hello, for those of you who haven't met me. I am based in BC, Canada. So I'm over here on the West Coast. Optic Foliar is a couple cities away. So our headquarters are located in Delta, BC. What else? I am a foliar specialist. And yeah, just kind of recently joined the team here. It's been amazing. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. That's kind of it.
Cool.
And I'm Lawrence. I'm based out of Michigan. I'm in the U.S. I've
Okay.
been with Optic Foliar now for about 7 years. I've been using it for about 9, almost 10 years. And
Wow.
yeah, I started at a hydro store, and I kind of came across the product there, and I just had great results with it, and I felt like I needed to tell people about it.
Nice. Cool. So I'm super interested. Bunny has already kind of touched on this. She's also interested in this. What sets this aside from other foliar sprays? Like, why can I spray with the lights on, where opposed to all the other sprays, we've always been told, no, don't spray with the lights on.
That is-
What sets you guys aside from other foliar sprays?
So
Well-
the design, I was gonna say the design behind optic foliar in general was to try to take all the negatives of foliar feeding and turn it into a positive. Most people
Okay.
say you can't spray with the lights on. We can.
Yeah.
And people say, you spray your plants, you're gonna leave a bunch of residuals all over it. There's no need to wash off any of the stuff at the end with our products.
Okay.
A lot of people say that you have to spray underneath the leaf. We only need to spray the top of the leaf with our products. There's no need to spray the underneath.
Yeah, I saw
And,
that on I want to say it was on your guys' website. It says don't spray the underside of the leaves, just the tops. So that's another
I'll
cool
let
thing,
Jess
because I
tell
feel
us
like you
about
use a
the,
lot more when you're doing the underside as well. So
You really do. And I don't know if we have a diagram for the leaf itself, but we do kind of try to penetrate the leaf. And I'm going to let Jess touch on the Palisade mesophyll layer, which is the factory of the plant.
okay.
You bet. So a lot of foliar sprays out there, they're usually an oil or a soap based. And what they do is they coat the leaf. And so a lot of the reason why you want to spray the underside is because oftentimes it's used for bugs, and that's kind of where they hang out and live, and that's where we want to sort of quote unquote suffocate them. So our products don't have any oils or soaps, and that's also why that we don't leave any kind of residual, so you don't have to go back and rinse them off. But what we do, the kind of MVP of our lineup, so to speak, is our transport, and this is kind of what the bottle might look like. And this is our delivery agent. So it's very similar to what you would consider maybe like a wetter spreader for other products.
Right, like some for like a soil drench, like a wetting agent or something like that.
Exactly. It kind of
Okay.
carries it through, right? So that's this is our sort of delivery agent. So any kind of solution that you mix with transport is going to actually absorb inside of your leaf directly into the Palisade mesophyll layer. So if you can imagine your leaf, right, as it is with the top on this side, and if you expand it really thick and you cut it in half, there's the very top of your leaf is the epidermis, and it's very similar to our dermis, our skin, right? Because it protects it. So what it does is it directly goes through that into the next column, and it kind of looks like a bunch of little rectangular squares all over, and that's called the palisade mesophyll layer. So anytime you feed your nutrients in the root zone, or you're adding CO2, that's where your plant stores those nutrients until that light comes in and it hits it, and then they mix all together into sugars and growth, and that's what we consider photosynthesis. So 30 minutes for anybody who's ever tried using our products. Once they spray our solution onto your leaf, they notice that within 30 minutes their plants are dry. And again, that's because of transport. It directly gets into the leaf in that palisade mesophyll, making this a fully systemic product. And so that's why we don't need to get underneath the leaf.
Cool. I like it. So it's like, because the leaf is porous, it can absorb everything through there. Like I know that's how it absorbs oxygen and the humidity and all that stuff. Like, so I guess it works basically the same way then, right?
Absolutely.
This actually,
and I think you were going to touch on exactly what I was, and maybe jump in if I've missed anything. But part of the reason we also advised against spraying underneath the leaf is the underside is actually where your stomata is, and that's where your plant brings in CO2. So oftentimes if you're spraying that area, it actually restricts the amount of CO2 that goes into the plant, which can then stunt your growth.
Especially if you're spraying something that's leaving a residual, like oils, things like that, can actually clog those stomata and actually decrease plant performance.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Cool. I like that. That was like Muskoka just said, that was a great explanation. So Norma G was wondering if you can get this product in Europe.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great question. We have recently expanded to a couple different places, even in just the last few months. So we are in South America. We are in places in Europe. I think it's specifically Spain, Germany,
UK,
definitely,
Ireland,
Australia. I think we're in the
Philippines
as well.
Say that one more time.
Are we in the Philippines as well?
Yeah, we're in the Philippines as well.
Wow, you guys are everywhere. That's crazy.
We've been working hard. So Norma G, just hit up our at Optic Foliar on Instagram, and we'll find a retailer for you to get it.
Yeah, I think I'm actually getting ready to go work a show in Berlin here in a couple months. I think it's called Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That'll be fun, considering they just was it last year they just went legal?
Yeah, I believe so. It was either last
year. I think it was last year. Yeah. They did the big event last year, and I said this is probably the same event just a year later. So that's gonna be crazy. I hear it's pretty big. I hear it's pretty wild. Like Spanibus is cool, but I hear this is insane. So.
Oh really? Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have fun.
I'm gonna have to live vicariously over here on the North America.
Yes, absolutely. Nice. Yeah. So this is like a full lineup of nutrients. Like this is like a all through veg, all through flower, start to finish. Now, would you use this with other nutrients, or is this something that you would use standalone?
You definitely want to use us in conjunction with a nutrient line. I know some people can use us individually, but foliar sprays just kind of set aside actually will assist in I think it adds up to 30% yield, which is pretty cool. And kind of a sidebar, I heard that underlighting will also help increase your yield by roughly the same. So we actually have a couple of people right now testing our products with underlighting. So I'm really curious to see if that changes or if that kind of increases. So if I find out, I'll let you know. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to know for sure. I think we were talking about D the bug guy earlier. He was telling me, actually, I'm not sure if he's using this on that plant that he's talking about, but he's doing like a bonsai.
Oh, fun.
And he was talking about under canopy lighting and all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm wondering if he's using this with the foliar as well.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we should ask him.
Yeah.
If he's watching or if he watches later, what's up, D?
Yeah, he'll probably watch later on. I know he's busy tonight, so.
Definitely. Little plug for him for those of you who want to try Optic Foliar that haven't tried Optic Foliar. D the Bud Guy is definitely an affiliate, so soon he should have a link up and
Nice.
running in his bio. You can get Optic Foliar through D the Bud Guy at a 10% discount. So hit him up.
Dope. Perfect. Yeah, it always
Yes.
helps for sure. So
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. So if there is somebody that's never done a foliar spray ever, what would you guys how would you guys explain it to them to make them kind of go, hmm, I'd really like to try that. Like what would their I don't know, I guess what would the sales pitch be, I guess, because I've never other than IPM like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people haven't done a foliar spray. They don't know that you can necessarily feed your plants through a foliar spray. How would
Yeah.
you kind of explain it or convince them, I guess, to kind of want to try that route?
I think that everybody in their garden is kind of looking for a performance enhancement. They want to see overall healthier plants, faster growing. They want to see their plants uptaking as much as they can. You know what I mean? And so a
Yeah,
lot of people, I feel like, overlook foliar sprays in order to help assist that. So one added benefit of foliar feeding is that even if you have super healthy plants, you can still see an enhancement from it. It's still going to actually naturally create enzymes within the plant that in turn help with the photosynthesis. It helps with the uptake, and that's basically what our products do. And just so we're clear about this, you can't use our products as a replacement for any nutrients that are feeding the plant, but you can use it as an enhancement in order to help your plant.
right.
Another thing that I've seen quite often is, like, let's say people have clones, right? But they're yellowing out on them. They're having a hard time getting them from the mother to a rooted clone successfully. And foliar feeding is literally the only way that you can actually supply nutrients to these clones before they start growing roots, because they can't uptake.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. I didn't even
And the
think
other
of
one
that.
is too, the like yellowing out in the garden, right? Like if you have any plants that maybe they're just not drinking as much, you happen to overwater them, they got transplant shock, things like that. This can actually get them back going on the right path. And I've seen this actually bring plants that were kind of yellowed out overnight back to a green, healthy plant with its leaves up and praying.
Hmm, that's crazy, actually. Yeah,
And that's
I I guess if you had like some kind of a nutrient lockout in your soil, a foliar spray would be a good way to supply that nutrient to the plant when it's having issues in the soil. You can feed it through the leaves just to kind of get you by until you can figure out what's going on in your soil biology.
Yeah, absolutely. And so another thing too is, like, I think that a lot of people just kind of like neglect veg and expect the perfect flower,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
and it's not, I'm not saying that they can't get pretty flowers. They can get beautiful
yeah.
flowers that still smell great. But the healthier your plant is when you're going into flower, the happier they're going to be at the end. So you're ultimately going to have a higher bricks content and overall, like, more terpier flowers, bigger, denser yield. They're going to be more beautiful, and it's actually going to express to the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I like that. We just
Yep.
had what was that question? You just popped a question up there. Oh yeah. How exactly is the flower and terp spray supposed to be mixed? I used it on two plants and ended up getting spots on my leaves, so I obviously didn't do it right. Was a little confusing. Okay.
I'm not sure which terp spray he was using, but if it was overgrow, for instance, overgrow is really easy to use. There's four different parts that's going to go into it, and it's going to start with transport. Transport being the wetting agent. Once we get into the leaf, we're gonna put Watts in there. Watts is gonna increase your photosynthesis. It's gonna increase your nutrient uptake. So whatever you feed your plant gets used more efficiently. It's gonna bring in more light. We spend a lot of money on lighting. We spend a lot of money on nutrients. We're trying to get the most out of all of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's very expensive to grow indoors, and I'm sure most people can feel that the electricity definitely adds up. And so we try to make it the most efficient that we can, and that's kind of where we aim at. Once we get in there, though, also Rev is going to back it up with a full line of micro and macronutrients, carbohydrates, amino acids, vitamins. And because how transport's working, you get an instant correction of deficiencies, overall healthier plants, and that big boost of growth that you're looking for. When you come back the next day, you're going to see your plants spraying. You spray your
Yeah.
plants, you come back in a few hours, you're going to see them over there. They're going to have their leaves up. They're trying to
Soaking up
intake
that
more
light.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
He used the switch and the transport together, I think is what he's
So
saying.
switch is one of those ones. It's the only one in our entire lineup that if you spray too much, you might see some of those spots. And so with switch
No.
specifically, we recommend that less is more. You don't need to absolutely drench your plants. Just kind of get the leaves wet. Just spray the top of the leaves. Make sure you try to get the entire plant. And so while we're on switch is great because it doesn't only just enhance the flower and the terpenes, it's also going to stop seeds and hermaphrodites. So it's going to keep a female
Mm,
female, and it's going to protect against accidental pollinations. And kind of the way this
that's
works
cool.
is, yeah, no,
Mm.
sorry.
Oh no, no,
I
no,
was gonna
keep
say,
going. I was just saying
Yeah,
that's
we're just
cool.
saying it's cool.
That's
yeah, no, for
yeah.
sure. I felt like I was interrupting you there for a second, but
No,
No, no, no,
no.
no. No,
so
you go
kind of the
ahead.
way that switch works, right, is it increases the amount of ethylene that the plant can produce. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with how feminized seeds are made. Okay. So feminized seeds, they spray something like colloidal silver or STS, which is like a silver thiosulfide or something like that, right? And so
Yep.
the key word in that is the silver, because what happens is when you spray silver on the cannabis, it actually stops ethylene production in a female plant. And in cannabis, ethylene is needed to produce female parts. So if there's an absence of ethylene within it, right, then it's going to produce male parts. And that's how they end up making the pollen that they cross back for feminized seeds. So switch doesn't do that.
Right.
But switch will keep a female female by increasing the amount of ethylene that the plant can actually produce and therefore
Okay.
keeping it female.
That's pretty cool.
That
So
That's
that's an
is.
added benefit.
actually I was gonna say that's actually a really cool thing for and I'm not hating on like the home breeders or anything like that, but
Sure.
for I'm gonna say the pollen chucker, the people that are just kind of creating for themselves, like not for
Mhm.
the community or anything like that, but the people that are just kind of like making their own thing, experimenting. I think that's a cool product for especially people like that don't necessarily know everything about breeding. They're just kind of in the learning process of this, so they might run into these problems more often than say like these big breeders will like the big company breeders. So
And I
I
think
think
sometimes
that's
even with them, you'll end up running across it just because,
for
they're
sure.
taking this, they're crossing it to this, they're crossing it to this. And then now they have their own stream, but then they cross that to a whole bunch of the new hype stuff that's out. And,
Yeah.
it happens. It's genetics. It's part of the game.
Oh, definitely, most definitely, yeah.
What
But
are the days
I
you
think that's
spray
super cool.
switch?
I don't know of any other products out there, and there might be, but I don't know of anything else off the top of my head that does that.
Mhm.
I don't
No.
even think that there
So
is one. I could be wrong,
yeah,
but
No.
I've
yeah,
yet
I
to
could
come.
be wrong too, but I've never heard of another one. So very, very unique. It's almost like you guys already thought of everything. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I told you. We try to take all the negatives and turn it into a positive in the garden. We try to help people with issues rather than create issues. Sometimes, it's unfortunate with Switch that it's the only one in our product line that is a little touchy. But generally, if you keep the temperatures down 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm not sure what that is in Celsius on conversion, so I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
But if
Off the
you
top of my head,
spray
I can't even.
somewhere,
25 to
if
30? What'd you say?
Yeah,
Or is it?
maybe 60
65
to
to
70.
60 to 75 degrees, yeah.
I'll consult Google.
I'm
So there's
gonna
a
say
question
it's
that
somewhere
popped up.
between 20 and 25. That's my guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that
70 at the
sounds right.
most is about 21 degrees Celsius.
So what are
This
the
one
days you
says,
spray switch?
yeah, so switch is one of those things you can use it as a curative or a preventative. If you use it as a preventative, right, you can use it on day 1 and day 10. It'll send your send your plants into flower faster because we're once again helping them produce the ethylene, which is needed in order to create the female parts. And then we're also going to help control your stretch. But let's say you don't need stretch
Mm,
control. You can use it on day 7 and 17 as a preventative, and that'll also help keep them female while still increasing your plant production.
Cool.
Now, let's say
Nice.
you're using it as a curative. You're week 3, week 4 into flower. You start noticing there's some male flowers here and there. Maybe you're week 5 or week 6 even. You can use that as soon as you see it, and you want to get to it as soon as you can because that can create seeds. But if you catch it early enough, and let's say that some of that pollen did transfer and tried to pollinate somewhere else, it'll actually stop that seed production off rip, and also stop males from then producing further pollen.
A game changer right there. Wow.
That
Sometimes it
is.
takes 3 to 5 applications, but generally 2 to 3 of them is more than effective. There's just certain strains out here that are, they're a little more temperamental than others.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Most definitely. No,
So
that's huge.
that
So,
is. Going back to pests, we had a question earlier. How does it affect pests?
You want to touch on the Palisade Mesophilaire and where they eat from there, Jess?
I knew this was coming. Yeah, so I'm a little rusty on this one, to be honest. So usually a pest life cycle is like something to do with 72 hours. And so our portal, so it's a portal in Canada. Everywhere else it's called Evios. And
okay.
basically it's all natural. It has no oils, no smells. And just like its IPM counterpart, it's late bud safe. So it's not going to damage your leaves, your buds, your hairs, your trichomes,
Nice.
or the overall taste of your plant. And again, the idea behind it, now it's made with a natural plant extract that grows in nature and just naturally repels bugs. So when you spray it on the top and it becomes systemic, one of two things happens. One, typically there's a pheromone that it produces that bugs just hate. And so typically they try to go as far away from that plant as possible. Two, if that's not enough and they're a little bit more stubborn, they'll take a bite out of your plant, and then there is a poison in it that they will die. So
Nice.
if it doesn't scare them away, it will definitely kill them. And then of course, we run clean. It runs out of your plant within 24 hours or so. So
Okay.
we're
Nice.
Yeah,
in and
that's what I
out.
wanted to touch on.
Pardon?
That's what I wanted to touch on, and the fact that it's is kind of you're using the word systemic, and I know some people might be worried hearing the word systemic, but it's only because we're penetrating into that Palisade mesophyll layer, and
Yes,
that's
thank
what your plant actually uses to move around throughout the plant. And
Yes.
so it's in and out. And so I don't know if most people know, but plants can actually push out through the roots. They're called exudates,
Yes.
and so it can
Okay.
actually flush out of the system as well.
Okay. Cool. It's like a bloodstream almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a vein in the plant.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure there is. Yeah. You see every now and then you cut your plant down and you see that
You see it leaking out the top.
that hole. Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've seen that a few times. Yep.
Yep.
Especially I think for people that are using like a water-based growing, like hydroponics
Oh,
or
absolutely. I used to see it.
BWC,
I
whatever.
started in deep water culture. Yeah.
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 Actually, a cool little tidbit too about both Portal. Again, it's Portal in Canada. It's Evios everywhere else, or Elium. And again, it's Elium in Canada, and it's Attack everywhere else. So those are our two IPM products, and they actually double as a root drench. So if you mix a little bit with water and you pour them in your root zone, they're also going to help attack any larvae that are in there, or any powdery mildew or botrytis that you might have, lockout, things like that. So
Nice. So it'll do like anything that's in the soil or
It'll help
just
with
certain
like
things like
Pythium, root rot, um, and then also if you have like fungus gnats, let's say maybe you
yeah,
got
that's
some
I was
thrip
wondering
larvae
about
that's
that.
driving down there. The fungus gnats would definitely try to put their babies down there, and root aphids are another common problem. And it's
Yeah.
hard sometimes in order to tell the difference between a root aphid and a fungus gnat. So they kind of go together, but yeah, as far as those goes, it would definitely help with all of those type of issues. Pretty much all the common indoor pests, we've been very
Yep.
effective against.
Okay. Cool. Now, would you recommend for somebody that was using that to do a root drench and a foliar application? And would you do it at the
They
same time or would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
kind of
So if
split
they
them
have
up.
something like fungus gnats, they can definitely spray the top of the plant and still give it a root drench at the same time. Because here's the thing with fungus gnats: you see them on the top of the plant, but their babies are in the soil. They're sitting there, they're
Yep.
attacking the top roots, and that's all your feeder roots. So
Yep.
we definitely want to knock those out. And so I definitely recommend trying to get at both sources at the same time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people do one or the other. Like they'll do either a foliar spray for IPM or a soil drench. And I feel like a foliar spray for IPM is a lot more common.
Yeah.
So
There's a
that's
few
good to know that
products
you
on the
can do
market
both.
that are fed from the roots like that, but they're far and few. And also, if you use them too late in the flower, they will affect the taste on your
Yeah,
products because they're very strong smelling usually.
yeah. So your IPM, is it an all, you said it's an all natural, right? It comes from a plant?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
Nice.
active
I was just
ingredient.
wondering for like some of the organic growers out there if they could use, because I know a lot of times when it comes to a foliar spray IPM, people are like, "Oh, I don't know, is it organic? Because I'm organic." So that's good to
You
know as
know,
well.
Yeah.
yeah, it's all natural. It's not fully organic. However, there's nothing toxic or carcinogenic in our products. We do have a full pesticide analysis and heavy metal report available on our website.
Yeah.
Perfect.
One thing I
Perfect.
love about this company too is like we're super transparent with all of that kind of stuff. We spend so much time and effort and energy into our gardens and money, of course. And so
Yeah.
obviously they're super important to us. And so, it's super important for us then to share that information with you and just kind of rest assure everyone that you're putting something good into your garden with using our product and you don't really have to worry about any of the BS
Yeah.
behind
No,
it.
no,
For
it's
lack of a
good. I,
better
li-
word.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been a company for?
Oh, I think Dinesh has been in business for, he's got to be coming up on like 15, 16 years now.
Yeah, I think
He was in business for a few
2009.
years before me.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
Ish.
that's about
about
16 years.
16 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Lawrence first because he's in the US. Being a Canadian company, how did you get hooked up with Optic Foliar?
So the very first time I ever used Optic Foliar, I got one of those overgrow bottles that she got over there. And I was in the industry for a while. I've been a long time grower. I started growing when I was like, 15 years old. I'm 38 this year, so been growing for a real long
Oh,
time,
you're an old man
and
now.
and yeah, so it's one of those things, man. You look back and you're like, I never really tried a lot of stuff. And sometimes you just want to
Yeah.
get out of your element and try something new. Same reason I started in deep water culture. I absolutely loved growing in hydro. But
Yeah.
all my friends, they were always in soil. So I was like, I gotta try this. And
And
so I
they
tried
they
it.
all
But
thought the same thing. Oh man, he grows in water. I gotta try that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that's grown in soil their entire life, and they're like, I just want to try one plant, see what it does.
That's me. That's
It's
me
a fun
100%,
experience.
but it
It's
scares the shit out of me.
there's so many things that can go wrong fast in a hydro system versus soil. There's definitely a buffer as far as like messing up when we're talking about soil versus hydro for
Absolutely.
sure. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so anyways, I was at a hydro store, and there was this group that I got into that was made for some of the people in the industry on Facebook. And I was kind of just in there and asking people what they do for IPM, because I was curious, right? Like everybody's got their own little IPM regime. They got their own little products that they recommend and use. And so anyways, Dinesh, our boss, was on there, and he recommended that I tried spraying the overgrow. And I was day like 18 in the flower, and I had pistils everywhere through my garden. And I'm just like, look, guy, if I go in here and I spray my garden with this and I burn it, I'm gonna be mad, like
Yeah.
mad. And
You're
so I went
thinking
in there and I sprayed it.
exactly the same thing as every other grower would think, right? That's what I
Yeah,
was kind of
Yeah.
absolutely.
asking at the beginning about the spraying with the lights on and doing this, and I was going to get into the whole spraying in flower as well. But
Yeah, and just
sorry, keep
spraying with the
keep going.
lights on in flower with pistols. I mean, that's a scary thing. Like you
Yeah,
ruin those
Oh
pistols, you
yeah.
ruin your yield.
yeah,
And I had that 1 liter bottle, and I went in there and I sprayed them. And I just manned up and I was like, all right, we're gonna do this today. And I did it, and I was scared to go back in there. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to go back in my room, and I peeked in. I didn't see no damage. I started walking in. And so, like I said, I've been a long time growing. I've grown a lot of different ways. In this garden, I didn't have CO2 running, but the only other time that I had seen them praying the way they were is when I was running CO2. These things had their leaves like happy, you know? And so I was just instantly impressed. They looked healthier. And I'm talking about like 2 hours later, I could just look at them and tell they were a better green. They looked happy, you know? And I was
Yeah.
just like, wow. So that's kind of where I started with the Optic Foliar. And so I ended up reaching out to them, and I got some samples in the store, and I started giving them out to my customers, and they were getting the same results as me. So yeah, I was like, hey man,
No
I
brainer.
gotta you gotta let me tell people about this like legit. And I just kind of bugged him for a little while, and he was like, here you go.
That's funny. Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
a success story for sure. And what about you, Jess? How did you get hooked up with Optic Foliar?
So before this, I was actually working for a wholesaler, and it was more on the lawn and garden side of things. And I wasn't too familiar with the quote unquote hydro side, and so I started getting my feet wet a little bit. And I loved working for a wholesaler, and I loved the customer base that I had, but I just found it was really, really hard to kind of pick a niche and be a quote unquote expert, because there was just way too many things to get to know, you know, media, nutrients, lighting, all of that kind of stuff. And so I just thought, you know what, I feel like if I had an opportunity to kind of narrow this down and to get into one subject, I could probably be 10,000 times better than I am right now. And so, unbeknownst to me, there were some people that were kind of whispering in the background. And then I kind of came across Optic Foliar just as a lineup in general. And I started looking into it, and I was fascinated. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to science and just the way things work. And so I fell in love with it. And then I found out that it's possible that maybe they could use an extra hand. And so Dinesh and I just started having a couple conversations here and there. You know, we met up over the course of a couple months and, you know, talked about things and got to know each other. And yeah, hopefully we were each other's best made decision that year. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And Jess also tells really good jokes, so that helped too.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. What was do you guys remember watching like Looney Tunes and like Bugs Bunny? Do you remember those remember those dogs that would like clock in, you know, and it would be a big fuzzy dog, and then there would be like a
Ralph
dog?
and
Yeah, that's like me and this
Ralph
guy.
and the other one. Okay.
I'm
Nice.
that tiny little dog, and he's just like, okay, don't worry, she'll run her batteries out soon.
That's funny.
Yeah, actually, him and I just came back from Boston, and we did a show, the Anyken show out there in the Heinz Center, and it was, oh my god, it was amazing. So
Nice.
we complimented.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was going to
well.
mention that too, because I saw that you guys were there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was a great turnout there.
It was amazing.
Was that your guys' first time in Boston, or
it was mine?
Been there before?
Yeah, that was her first time. I've gone there quite a bit. It's been my territory since I'm out of Michigan. It's been my territory for a while, and you know I've been in and out of. I got quite a bit of territory, so you might see me all over the U.S. You might see me in Canada, and now you're gonna start seeing me over across seas. So
get to know our pieces. We be out
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Like honestly, like I'm gonna say in the last maybe 6 months, I think is when I started noticing you guys, and I was like, "What is this Optic Foliar? What's going on over here?" Because there's so many different nutrient companies, and everybody's like, "Hey, look at me," right?
Yeah.
And you guys just kind of like came in, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, who are these guys?" So yeah, and I've always, like I said, I was always so interested in the whole spraying with your lights on, because my whole growing life has always been don't spray with the lights on.
It's taboo.
So,
you know, I did it one time a long time ago, and I completely burned my plants up, man. a super long time ago. I sprayed some
Oh yeah.
pesticide with the lights on. Rookie mistake. I was young. I didn't know. There wasn't a ton of info back then either. You know, like it was like pretty
We've all done
limited.
it. We've all done it. That's what scares me the most. But then like I see your guys' product and I see all these people on Instagram using it and talking to D the bug guy, he's like, no, absolutely. It's the lights are on, no doubt. You know? So I mean, how can I argue?
Can't argue with D.
Yeah. And it's, and like you say, like we're very blessed over here just because there are so many nutrients, wonderful nutrient lines
Yeah.
out there. Absolutely. And, lighting, there's so many things that people are doing with lighting and, media obviously is standard. But everybody's kind of coming up with all these innovative solutions for, for that, but nobody's really done anything with foliar sprays. And so
Yeah.
that was definitely the goal. It was the overlooked market. It was something that, growers need and can certainly use, and definitely changes the game in terms of just convenience alone, and it's
Absolutely.
so multi-purpose and dynamic. So, like
Well,
I
based
even
off of
use
what I've
it on
heard,
my
I mean, like, there's been so many good things that you guys have said so far that I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to try this.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, be
that's
sure,
cool.
hit me up once this is done and I'll get you set
Yeah,
up.
I will for sure. Definitely. Yeah, because,
Absolutely.
yeah, like I said, I've been watching the people using it and I'm like, man, like their plants look amazing. So you can see the brand new green growth, the difference between like when it's brand new. You just see brand new everywhere. Like it's crazy. And I've done foliar like worm casting tea. I've done that as like a foliar application, or I've done like an Epsom salt foliar
And I'm sure you've
application
seen
for
great results
magnesium
from
and
both
stuff
of
like
those.
that.
Both of those are great foliars.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, both of them separately, I've seen amazing results. So
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
foliar sprays absolutely do work. So it's just it's cool to hear like the science behind it, I guess, because that's what I wasn't understanding before. So
Yeah. And
that's
you know
cool.
what? And if people are super, super hesitant and they're just not sure and they have a foliar feed that they absolutely love, we're no strangers to helping out. Just mix the competition with our transport at quarter strength. So it saves you on what you're already using. And again, just it'll absorb right in. It'll work a
Cool.
little bit more efficiently
Well,
for you.
quicker.
And I just
And
want
yeah,
to
it'll last
clarify
longer.
real quick. She said transport at quarter strength. That's transport at full strength with whatever you're spraying at quarter strength.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
And I just wanted to clarify that real quick.
Good
Appreciate that.
catch.
Definitely.
Nice.
Definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
One
you
other
guys
thing that
should.
I would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say one other thing that I would recommend to some people that are maybe naysayers of spraying with the lights on, right? You're scared to go in your garden, you're scared to spray with the lights on. Try it on one little part. Try it on one plant and just see where it goes from there. Don't do your entire garden. If you don't believe me, I mean, look, I want you to have full confidence in the product, just like I did. After using it, obviously, because I told you the story, I didn't have full confidence in it. You told me go spray with the lights
Right.
on. Like, what do you mean,
Yeah.
man? But yeah, no,
Well, it's
just
just that's what
testing,
we've all
spot
been
testing.
told, right? So it's
Right.
like it's been driven into our heads for so long, and then all of a
Yeah, and
sudden you
that's
guys,
just
well, not
old
all of a
school
sudden, you
info
guys have
kind of,
been here
right?
for a long time. Yeah, but I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like as the industry kind of moves along, we're going to start
Yeah.
seeing things like this coming up. Not necessarily a foliar spray, but we're going to start seeing products that come out that defy everything that we've been told this whole time. Like without going legal everywhere, and there's so much more information about everything. We're able to sit here and have these conversations and learn from each other now. I feel like there's just so much more available nowadays with how much research people can actually do now with available information that we didn't have before.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. So that's super cool.
I'm super happy the information has moved the way it has, and people are no longer gatekeeping the information. They're willing to share it, and they want to see people succeed.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of like what mine and Jess's like. That's what we're out here to do. We're trying to help everybody succeed. We want to see success out of your garden.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, that's what our Friday nights are all about. Like we just love seeing everybody's gardens. We love seeing what everybody's doing, all the different products they're using, all the different techniques that they're using, because like there's a million and one ways to grow, and we all grow the same thing, but we all grow different. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Buddy
that's
and I both grow in Pro Mix. Um, a lot of our stuff is the same, but we both grow different still.
Yep.
We're still going to get different results. We're in the same province, so it's like our climates are a little bit different, but we're still in the same kind of area and so many similarities, but we get different results. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
it's super
Great
cool.
picture.
So many correct ways to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way, really. I mean, if it works, you might do something that in my head is wrong, but if it's working for you, who the hell am I to say it's wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
So,
those kids that would do
Sure.
long division and they would do it all wrong, but the answer was right. And you're like, how the fuck?
right. Exactly. It's the same thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Doesn't
there's
matter
really
how
no
you get
wrong
there
way
as
to do
long
it.
as you get there.
Happy little accidents, am I right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Bob Ross.
Yeah, that's right. You got it.
Hell yeah. I used to love that guy when I was a kid.
Oh, who
But,
didn't? Who didn't? Maybe sociopaths. I don't know. I feel like it's like a staple. Him, Mr. Dress Up,
Yep.
Yep.
Mr. Rogers.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
I haven't thought of that in years.
What's that?
I haven't heard that in years. Bringing back some old memories.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's funny. So Lawrence was talking about he grows. What about you, Jess? Are you a grower as well, or
So
you
I've
just
always
kind of
kind of
specialize in the nutrients?
kind of grew up helping growers, but
Okay.
I've got some seeds coming anytime now, and I'm gonna start my own outdoor this year. So I'm super excited
Nice.
for that. And then I'm hoping
That's
I'll eventually
exciting,
be able to
yes.
make some room for some indoor. But yes, I am so stoked. So, and the seeds I'm getting too is kind of like a mix. So I'll really kind of have a good opportunity to showcase our products and really put them to
Nice.
use and show it off a little bit.
That's
This
cool.
will be your first cannabis plant?
It will. It will. It'll be my first
Solo, we'll
cannabis
say?
and my first veggie garden. So fingers
Nice.
crossed I
That's
don't
so exciting.
fuck it all up.
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I feel
love.
like that's part of the experience, right? Like, I wouldn't be
Absolutely.
the grower I am today if I didn't make the mistakes that I had to in order to learn what I did wrong.
See, and like I
100%.
embody that, but just like as a person, you know? Like, and I always have to learn the hard way. So y'all are in for a good show. Yeah, I'm looking
Excited.
forward to it a lot. Yeah.
No, I think, yeah, exactly what Lawrence was saying. Like I've in my head I've made every mistake I could possibly make. You know, and as long as you don't make the same mistake twice, you can make as many mistakes as you want. Just don't make the same mistake twice. Just every mistake you make, just learn from it and
Definitely.
get that much better every single time. And just hopefully you don't make any mistakes that, you know, make you have to start over or something like that. Hopefully they're fixable mistakes,
Yeah.
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know.
I feel like I got a
So
pretty good backing behind me. If Lawrence doesn't whip me up into shape, then I'm sure the Grow Me group will.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure like you guys probably have like a team of people there doing, testing and
Oh yeah, we
science
got people all over
sciency
that are
type of
doing that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so I'm sure somebody back there will be able to point you in the right direction for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most definitely. And if not, you can always show up to our show on a Friday night. There's always lots of people there teaching. So
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
definitely. I'll take you up on that for sure. Hell yeah.
most definitely. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. And I'm
It
3 hours
is.
in the class, so it'll be nice and bright. I can still show it off.
Oh, that's right
That's
too. Yeah,
right.
because it'll be
Mhm.
outdoor.
Yeah.
You bet. It's still sunshiny outside, as you can tell. It's actually not
Yeah, and
sunshiny
it's
at all. It's definitely overcast today, but
yeah, and it's dark here. It's
yeah.
darkness
It's
by
dark
this
here.
time, usually in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
You guys
it's
you
still,
you
very
still have
you guys
snow.
would be basically the same as what we are in Michigan. You're just over the bridge. So
Yeah.
Is that where you're out of too, is Michigan?
no, I'm in
Oh, my
Ontario,
apologies.
Canada. Yeah,
Oh yeah, not
we're
too far
both
though.
Funny and I are in Ontario.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like Sarnia would be just across the bridge, but I'm in London, so I'm like 2 hours from Sarnia.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
like
that's not too far.
2 hours from the border kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah, I think I'm
close.
like 30
Oh, it's
minutes. I'm in
bedtime,
Flint.
Justin. Sorry, I was reading the comments. It's nighttime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Nice. Is there anything that we may have missed that that you guys want to kind of go over on your
I
guys'
just
products
I had
or
one more
any
bit of
upcoming?
information. Yeah,
Okay.
the Watts and the Rev, we kind of cut our nutrient line out about week 3, week 4. Um, and then after that, we just switched over to late stage IPM control, and you can use it as a curative or a preventative. It's just
Okay.
one of those things. And also, one more bit of advice that I wanted to offer new growers is that it's much easier to prevent than what it is to cure. So I definitely recommend people stay on some type of IPM program. And I also recommend using different modes of actions. And, one of ours is a repellent, but you could still use another suffocant, or you could use like a bacteria type in order to help coat the leaf. You know what I mean? But just different types of IPM control and rotating them things in is going to take you far in this, and it's going to help prevent any issues from actually being an issue.
Yeah. That's funny that you say that. Great point too, by the way, because I'm not going to mention the company's name because I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I was using an IPM spray through another company, and they asked me, "Do you like it?" And I said, "Yes, I do like it." But my thing is I rotate. I said I have 3 different types of all foliar spray, but I said I have 3 different types of IPM spray that I use, and I use one week, one another week, another week, and then when I get to the end, I start over. They actually stopped dealing with me because they thought I was bashing their product by saying that I have to use other products to make your product work. But all
No.
I was saying was exactly what you just said, and I just kind of rotate them through the mix. Instead of using one the whole time, I would rotate 2 or 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and I think that's
So,
part of the reason that some people may be losing the effectiveness with some of the products that they're using because some bugs can gain a resistance. Also, it's one of
sure.
those things
Exactly.
we can help you up until the last couple weeks of flower without ruining your final product. So that's one other just thing that you can add into your arsenal. Up until then, like I said, I definitely recommend still switching through different products, like you're saying, because if this mode of
Yeah,
action don't get it, this one will. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Shout out Bingus. He's cool, actually. Uh, I'll show it one more time. Got the Bingus book.
Oh,
So he's in
nice.
the chat
Fungus,
right now,
fungus.
hanging out.
sweet.
Yeah, so um do you want to kind of give everybody tell everybody where they can find you guys, your websites, your Instagrams, your YouTubes if you guys have YouTubes, all your social medias, wherever they can find Optic Foliar.
Yeah. So our main account is at Optic Foliar. That's on Instagram. We have a backup account called at Optic Foliar Sprays. So definitely hit that one up. You can reach me just right here at Optic Foliar Jess. Lawrence is its Optic Foliar or Optic underscore Foliar Optic underscore Lawrence.
I'm
And
gonna
that's all
fix
on
that.
Instagram. Just punch us in. We're all friends with each other. You can find us real easy. We've got our affiliates. So D the Bud Guy, like I said, you can definitely hit the link through him. You can also go to Andrew Heckman with Ago and the Ago team. They're also affiliates. You
Yep.
can get us through them. There's various retailers all throughout North America and globally, as you've learned. And did I miss anything, Lawrence? Where else can you
No,
find us?
the Shopify as well, if needed as well.
Yeah, Shopify.
Mm.
So it's our program was just started up and running. So I know there's probably a few things that we're going to update and go through. We're probably going to have it in our bios. I know it's not yet in mine. I just realized that now as we're talking about it. So I'll make sure to get that fixed up
That's what
real
we're here
quick.
for.
But yeah, so we're getting a reach. We definitely want to respect our retailers and make sure that we're just trying to gravitate towards them. And then for anybody who might be a little bit more rural, we've got some options for you. So if you're not too sure, if you're trying to find us, you can't find us, just hit one of us up. We're all great to talk to. We want to help you, and we will.
Cool.
Amazing.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely use your grow stores. If you still have one, check there
Use
first.
it.
Oh yeah, by
Oh
far.
yeah.
Yeah,
Brick and mortar by far,
Keep
because
them alive.
it's going to be hard when the soil isn't available no more. If you're
Right.
growing in
It's
soil
gonna
and all
be
those supplies,
it's
it's going
gonna
to be
be
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah,
yeah.
shipping is going to kill
Yep.
you.
We're all gonna have to switch to hydro.
I think a pack of like a 1.5 cubic bag of soil on Amazon's like 50 or $60 to have delivered to your door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Oh
can
I
pick
yeah.
it up at the hydro store for like 15 to 25,
yeah.
sometimes 30 depending
Well,
on
I
the brand.
think
But
for like a bale of Pro Mix, I think I can get it for about 40 or $45 or something like that.
right,
But in order to ship that, it's that 40 or $45 for the product still, but then it's like $150 or something to ship it. So you're gonna be paying $200 for a bale. And
It
like you
could
said,
change
like
too, because
those,
sometimes they get wet and then it's 100
oh,
pounds and you're paying weight.
hmm
It's yeah,
oh yeah,
Yep.
it's a whole
yep,
thing.
yeah, we're all gonna be growing in hydroponics at that point, deep water culture. It's a lot cheaper to ship empty buckets.
Yeah,
It
facts.
is.
everybody's going to be going to aeroponics just so they can get away from any type of medium.
Yep, exactly. It'll happen, man, if we run out of grow stores or,
It's going to be
I
a
mean, I
sad
guess
day, man.
there's always Home Depot and all those places, but I mean, support your local grow store for sure.
I was gonna say,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause
try to
I
avoid
have
places
one.
like that.
I do too, but I mean, if it's the only place I can
Gotta
get it, it's the only place I can get it. It's
gotta
still
do what you gotta do,
cheaper than
you know?
shipping it. So,
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
no,
Awesome.
we're coming up to the end of the hour, so we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks so much
Yes.
for having
Full of
us.
information. I feel like I learned a lot tonight.
It
So,
flew by too. I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch. I feel like there was too much knowledge at once. I gotta rewatch.
That's how I
And
felt too. Don't worry. It's a lot. It's a lot all at one time. And there's what one
yeah,
product does, it does like 5 other things in the background. So don't worry.
yeah. And
We'll
that's
learn.
the other part is we're more than happy to help people. So feel free to reach out to us on Instagram. Give us a call. Our website, on our website, you'll find our phone numbers, and you'll find mine, Jess's, and Dinesh's. But try to
cool.
bug me and Jess if you can. We'll give you all the help that you need.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll
Absolutely. People
definitely
always
put your
think I'm
guys'
faking it
links
when
down in the bottom. So people, if they're on this video, they can just click it and go straight to Instagram. And so,
absolutely.
yeah,
Well, for sure.
most
And
definitely.
even, yeah, if you're a retailer and you have someone in front of you and you don't know how to answer the question, give me a quick shout right then and there. I'm definitely happy to walk you guys through. Or if you're a grower and you're, looking at a problem and you're like, how the heck do I fix it? Just give us a call. We love it. It's not bugging
Beautiful.
us at all.
Awesome.
It's nice when the companies are reachable because there's a lot
Yeah.
of big companies out there that you can't talk to anybody. You may have all kinds of questions, but there's nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
So I love hearing about some of these companies that are out there that are in the community that you can call, message, email, whatever the case is, but you can get a hold of somebody. So that's
Absolutely.
super cool.
Absolutely.
So
That is.
beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. We
Yes.
appreciate
Thank
you
you
coming
guys.
on and giving us your time, and we'll have to do this again in the future.
Absolutely. Would love
Definitely.
to. Thanks again, you
Yeah, no,
guys. Really
super
appreciate it.
appreciative. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you,
See it,
guys.
spray it, beleaf it. Optic Foliar.
Right.
You heard it here. All right, guys. You guys have a good night.
Have a great night.
Later.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning
You
in.
too.
All right. That was awesome.
That was
What a
cool.
great show. So much knowledge.
I learned a lot. But I'm like you. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and rewatch, and I'm sure there's some things that slipped by that I missed, and yeah. So make
Yeah,
sure
I
you
feel
tune
like
in
this
on.
flew by.
It did. It did. Like I think the last time I looked at the clock, it was like 9:10, and then all of a sudden it was like 10 to 10. So that's cool. I
Yes.
like when that happens. And they
So
both had a lot to say. They both had a lot of information, and it was cool.
they
They bounced
did.
off each other. So
Yes.
yeah.
So
What were you gonna
next
say?
Wednesday we have Gambit Growing. Did I say that right? I think so. Yes. We have
Yeah.
Gambit Growing coming on next Wednesday. Friday we have again Show Your Grow. All you got to do is come into the chat. There'll be a link posted. You click the link, you'll be sent to the background, and you're free to come and show your grow, talk about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and yeah, all that fun stuff.
Hell yeah. And we look forward to seeing all your gardens, babies, teenagers, big adult plants. We want to see them all, start to finish.
That's right.
So, but yes, until Friday, you guys have a good rest of your week.
We
and
will see
peace
you
out.
there.